Plus, for 37 years, a Sacramento woman thought her father was dead. How a dive into her family's history led her to the truth about Dad. And for the first 37 years of her life, new tonight, a Sacramento woman thought her father was dead. But her friends encouraged her to get a DNA test done to find out more about her family history. Tonight, ABC10 reveals the results of that test and how it has changed the woman's life.
My name's Krista Bryan, and I grew up here in Sacramento. When my mom had me, she had a nervous breakdown. And so it was really hard for her to take care of me. By the time that I got into 6th grade, I moved in with my aunt and my uncle. One day they just sat me down, and she said, and her husband, and they said, you know what, your dad is Mexican. And my uncle that sat me down with my aunt, her husband, he had been to prison. And he said, and I ran into your family, you know, his family in prison, and they asked how you were doing. And so we told them, but your dad killed himself. You know, he passed away. And I just got content with like, oh, okay, well, my real dad passed away and I'm Mexican. Like, I just had some really good friends that kind of talked truth to me, and they kind of took me to the side and they're like, you need to know what nationality you are. Like, you need to find out. And you can. It would be great to know my culture. I never knew any type of culture, you know, like some people have culture and it's really valuable to them and they celebrate it, and it's like, you know, family and things like that. And I didn't know anything. So I got the results in, and that's when I was shocked, because it says that my DNA comes from Nigeria. And then it said that I was like a big portion of African American. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I would have never thought that. Nobody's ever told me that. When I took the test, there was nothing on my radar that my dad would be alive or anything like that. You know, I was just like, I wonder what nationality I am. People from all over do this test. So they link you as possible relatives because you have the same DNA. And somebody on there was a really strong match as a second cousin. So she found me on Facebook 3 weeks later, and she's like, the person you're looking for might be my husband's cousin. And I was like, oh, like it still didn't register. I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm just trying to find my nationality, because I didn't think she'd be talking about my dad, or, you know, I'm just like, oh, and she's like, well, if this person's your father, then that means you're African American. And I'm like, and then it just hit me like, wait, what? I remember I gave her my number to give my dad. And I said, if he wants to know me, like, here's my number. I'm totally okay with him calling me. We were interacting maybe 5 minutes, and I started to drive, and I pulled over on the side of the road, and I just kept bawling. I just was like, I just couldn't contain the emotion that was going on inside. And all of a sudden, my dad called. And I was like, oh my God, this is him. So, like, you know, I kind of gained my composure, and so I answered the phone, and he's like, hey, hello? And then, you know, I'm like, hello? And he's like, hi, and he told me his name, and he's like, my cousin just contacted me and told me about you, and he's like, is your mom Victoria? And I told him, yeah, because that's my mom's name. And I said, yeah, that's my mom. And so he was like, hey, you know what, he told me like he wanted to fly me out to Orlando. So we went to Orlando, and I spent a week out there, and that's when I found out just even more, just so much more. Throughout the whole trip, I felt like, oh my God, I found my place. Like, I found my family. And I felt like I was the puzzle piece that fit with them. And as soon as I told him I'm gonna move out there, he was like, okay. And I just felt this overwhelming peace. It was really unexplainable. And I was like, right then and there, I was like, I'm moving. I'm going to Florida.
You should have seen all of us in the newsroom. We were like, say what? Oh my God, what a great story. She leaves for her new life in Florida on Sunday. But now she's spending a few last nights in Sacramento with the friends that pushed her to find out the truth. Nice. Harry, you know what? Spring